Hi, hello dear students, how are you? This is my class on high school chemistry. I will continue taking the high school chemistry classes, class 11 and class 12 as per the international boards. Today's my topic on high school chemistry is elements and periodic table. The discussion I am doing here, that is high school chemistry. High school chemistry. The topic is elements and periodic table. The topic is elements and periodic table. Okay, we all know that today, if you want to travel by air across the countries or overseas, you take an aeroplane. During the first 3 decades of 20th century, you would have boarded a hydrogen-filled balloon such as the one shown in the black and white photograph. Okay, but large and small airships such as these are called as dirigibles and were common sights in the skies above many North Americans and European cities. They have observed. Unfortunately, what happened during a landing in Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937, the hydrogen in one of these airships, Hindenburg, ignited. What happened? The resulting explosion killed about 32 people and marked the end of the use of hydrogen for dirigibles. So, first we understand that what is hydrogen's example. Now, after that, gas-filled airships and balloons like the one shown in the color photograph now use helium gas instead of hydrogen. First, what they have used? First, they have used hydrogen in the airships. After that, they failed in maintaining that one because lot of problems are there, ignition problems all there. Then after they have taken helium gas in the airships, which is instead of hydrogen. So helium, unlike hydrogen, does not burn. In fact, helium is highly unreactive gas. And what is about hydrogen that makes it so reactive? That is a question arises in the scientist's mind. And why is helium so unreactive? The answer lies in the structure of atoms of these elements is the answer for that question. Why? Because the structure of hydrogen is different and the structure of helium is different. In previous science courses, you traced the history of our understanding of atoms and the structure. You also learned how chemists use properties to arrange elements. Okay, and atoms which they are made into a remarkable tool called as periodic table. Right, this is what we are going to tell about the periodic table also in this class. Okay, so this chapter highlights and expands on the key ideas from your earlier studies. By the end of this chapter, what you will learn or you will have a great understanding of the properties of the elements, at an atomic level. That means this understanding is a crucial foundation for concepts that you will explore in your chemistry course this year. Okay, that is one most important introduction I can say. And the concepts and skills you'll need is before you begin the chapter, review some concepts like expressing the results of calculations to the appropriate number of decimal places and significant digits that you have studied in the chapter 1. Our modern understanding of matter and composition was largely developed before scientists obtained direct evidence for the existence of atoms. How can you explain this fact? How can you explain this fact? It is nothing but you need to study about the atoms and their composition. So let us see what are the elements. Elements are the basic substances and that make up all the matter. About 90 elements exist naturally in the universe, and the two smallest and the least dense of the elements are hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium, these are the most important elements, and these are even less density elements. That means on the earth we have the smallest and the least dense elements are hydrogen and helium. Yes, but at hydrogen helium account for nearly 98% of the mass of the entire universe. Okay, here on the earth there is very little hydrogen in its pure elemental form. There is even less helium also. In fact, there is such a small amount of helium on earth that is escaped scientists notice until 1895. That means this hydrogen until 1895 scientists also really not able to understand what is hydrogen. So regardless of all these abundances of any two samples of hydrogen from anywhere on earth or far beyond in outer space are identical to each other. For example, a sample of hydrogen from earth atmosphere is identical to a sample of hydrogen atom from the sun. That means the same is true for helium also happen. That means this is because each element is made up of only a single kind of atom. So what is the meaning of element? Each element is only made up of a single same atoms. So this is the most important thing I am telling. A same kind of atom must be present in an element. That is explored by scientists at the time before inventing these all the elements. For example, element hydrogen is there. Then it contains only hydrogen atoms. The element helium contains only helium atoms. So however, in an atom, so what is the actual theory of this atom? Now we will see the atom theory of matter, atomic theory of matter. So once you start the atomic theory of matter, the atomic theory of matter, John Dalton was a British teacher and self-taught scientist. In 1809, he described atoms as solid, indestructible particles and that make up all the matter. Okay, and that is like this one, spherical solid particle. Okay, then after what happened? After this, Dalton's concept of the atom came forward, and it is also one of the several ideas in his atomic theory of matter. And what he outlined in this one is nothing but, keep in the mind, scientists have modified several things in the Dalton's theory. After that, so After the atomic theory started by John Dalton, several experiments done by the scientists and they modified this Dalton's theory and based on the discoveries. We'll learn about these modifications at the end of this session and see you can infer that some of them or as you study the structure of atom on the next few minutes. So what is Dalton's theory? What is Dalton's theory now? What is Dalton's theory? All the matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. An atom cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, and can be divided into smaller particles. An atom cannot be divided, cannot be created, cannot be divided into smaller particles. And those atoms of one element can be converted into atoms of another element. That means atom of one element cannot be converted into atoms of another element because the element contains only same type of atom that cannot be modified into another element. The other one is all the atoms of one element have the same properties such as mass, size and other physical properties. So these properties are different from the properties of the atoms of any other element. So when you are discussing about one element, the element containing the atoms having the similar properties, but the other element atoms properties are different from this element. That is one important postulate. The another postulate what Dalton's atomic theory in 1809 given. This is given in 1809. That's what I told. After Dalton's theory only, they came to know there are some elements can be discovered. That is, atoms of different elements combine in specific proportions to form compounds. The combination of atoms, for example, we take A plus B gives rise to AB. Looking very simple. But the very simple thing only this Dalton theory has made us to understand the science. So science has become simple when they started researching on the atom. So atoms of different elements, these are different elements atoms. If they combine in specific proportions to form compounds. What is AB? AB I wrote is a compound and A and B separately we can call they are different atoms of different elements. Right? So they are different atoms of different elements. This is what we can call it as Dalton's atomic theory. Okay? We'll see in the next session.